Now this is a surprise you will be very interested in. The Nissan X-Trail is coming back to India. It's going to be the first SUV that Nissan launches as part of a new push up market into the Indian car market. And this time the difference is that the X-Trail is coming as a hybrid. It's coming back after 8 years, loaded with features and tech. So let's see what it offers. Now the X-Trail that eventually comes to India will be this one, this 4th generation model. The last one that we got was the 2nd gen one, which was discontinued in 2014. But as you can see, that imposing but still quite simple design theme continues even with this generation. So you get this large split headlamp setup, LEDs here, these LED DRLs and halogen indicators, but still they look quite striking. But of course, the main feature in the front is this wide V-shaped Nissan grille, the big new Nissan logo. There's a camera for all the features that we'll talk about eventually. And once you get a wider look, you notice that big air dam. So it's typically a big Nissan SUV. Now from the rear, the X-Trail will again stand out with its sheer size and that nice bit of sophistication that it offers. And of course, a big element here is these really large rear LED tail lamps. They're not fully LED, which is a bit of a disappointment. Only the tail lamp is LED with highlights. The bulbs for the indicator and the reverse light are still halogens, we don't like so much. But it's got a nice sloping sort of windscreen at the rear, that new Nissan badge. So if you're buying this car, everyone will really know what you bought. And here's the big change with this reintroduction of the X-Trail. It's available now as a hybrid, that diesel engine no longer there. Now, given that we expect this car to come in as either a CBU or a CKD, Nissan has loaded it to the brim with features, and that works very well with the general ambience of the place. So again, the design isn't too flashy, too out there, but as you can see, everything that you touch is of a very high quality. There's soft materials here, even the plastics in the lower half of the dash. You can see that typical quality that you expect in a Nissan is pretty much there. You have these nice fabric inserts here, leather on the door pads. This has fabric seats. To be clear, this car that you see here isn't exactly what will come to India. The Indian version will be fully loaded. This one isn't quite fully loaded. But it gives you a very good idea of where Nissan is going with the X-Trail. Hearteningly, there's hard buttons for pretty much everything that you would want. It's a large steering wheel with hard buttons for the cruise control, the audio controls. You get these two 12.3-inch screens there, quite clear in the way they work in terms of the displays and so on. Not like something that you would find in the Kicks. There's navigation, there's Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, there's going to be 3-zone climate control, there's going to be ambient lighting. As you can see, there's a USB-A and USB-C port. And there's also uniquely, or something that you've been seeing quite often in electric cars, or even hybrids, you get this quite smart looking electronic shifter. And practicality is another big sort of point here. There's, as you can see, a large empty space in the center console, big door pockets, a nice deep cubby hole here, large holders for cups. So in terms of features and the general sort of sense of premiumness, considering how high this car is going to be priced, I think Nissan will be able to justify that price considering how the interior feels like. Now the practicality that Nissan has been touting for the X-Trail continues in the backseat, and this is the space where you, if you buy this car, will spend most of your time. So the doors open 85 degrees or near 90 degrees. And as you can see, the amount of space that's on offer, there's quite a bit of it. The seat isn't set to my position, but it's at a natural position of a reasonably tall adult. And you have this huge amount of knee room, leg room. Of course, this being a hybrid, the roof is a bit higher, so you still sit in a knees up position. Maybe the bench, it could have a bit more under thigh support. So yeah, that is a drawback, but it's made up for by this very nice feature for India, rear sunshades. You get separate USB A and C ports. The Indian car that we eventually get will have 3-zone AC. The bench is wide enough for 3 adults. There is a bit of a hump, but it's not going to be too much of an issue, we think. And the Indian car will get up to 7 seats. This one does not have it. What you do get instead are these reclining seats. So that's going to be another positive. Now we'll quickly take you through the other features that will be on offer. You will get ADAS, a full suite of ADAS functions. You will get a 360-degree camera. You will get a 10.8-inch head-up display, one of the largest of a car in this segment. So yeah, in terms of features or rear seat comfort, the X-Trail should be a good bike considering its price. Now the big change from when we last saw the X-Trail is that it's now a hybrid. It's no longer a diesel, and it's not just any hybrid. It's Nissan's top-tier e-Power e-Force, which is essentially the electric all-wheel drive version of Nissan's hybrid system. So it's pretty unique. Powering it is a 1.5-liter petrol motor. It's a turbo petrol with variable compression, but in most circumstances it's not directly powering the engine. It's used as a generator, and the outputs are about 213 PS from the motor in terms of power. The front electric motors make about 330 Newton meters, and the rear ones make about 190 Newton meters. So you get pretty much all the advantages of an all-wheel drive system with the efficiency and practicality of a hybrid. Of course, there are many drive modes and terrain modes to go with it. So yeah, this is the main highlight of the Nissan X-Trail, the e-Force 4-wheel drive hybrid system. Now Nissan has just begun testing this 4th Gen X-Trail in India. There are no timelines in terms of launch or expected prices, but if testing has begun now, you can expect an India launch maybe by the middle or late next year. And in terms of prices, we think this will be either a CKD or maybe even a CBU. So expect prices to be quite high. We're thinking at least over ₹40 lakh, considering the tech and equipment it packs.